Here's the debater kettle in North Massachusetts. We got 46 degrees at 7:55 a.m. Good morning, everybody. It's time now in the morning news and the stories of Wednesday, April 29th, 2026. Hey, good morning, y'all. This lovely Wednesday morning, April 29th, 2026. It's 7:55 a.m. and it is 46 degrees here in North Massachusetts and cloudy skies here on the nights at 7:55 a.m. Our top story is King Charles visits New York after Trump says UK monarch agrees with him on Iran. Supreme Court weighs Trump's effort to add temporary protective status for Haitian and Syrian migrants. James Comey indicted again as DOJ probe deepens into ex-FBI chief. Boston Mayor Moo says congestion precedent is a win-win that has worked in New York. Affordable housing has boomed in Boston recently. Now the money is running short. Search underway for suspects who fled slain of Boston bank robbery. Mission accomplished as King's speech to Congress goes down. A storm. NBA proposes a new 3-2-1 draft. Lottery system sources, and here's how it works. Baltimore Ravens side quarterback Diego Paiva. Miami Marlins plays Pete Fairbanks on injured list. Demis Hassabis, the co-founder of Google DeepMind, reunited Wednesday with South Korea's legendary Buddha player Lee Sedol, who went up against the company's AlphaGo AI in a legendary human versus machine match. Seoul's talk said at Fresh Record Eye on revive hope for AI boom. Appeals court increases ex-President Yoon's sentence to 70 years in obstruction of justice case. South Korea tightens oversight of Copenhagen mid-U.S. dispute. The United States has Section 35 and 10 days and individuals accused of overseeing a shadow banking network for Iran. U.S. President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump hosted King Charles and Queen Camilla at a state dinner at the White House on Tuesday. Court sentenced Purdue Farmer to pay $5.5 million cleared settlement path. U.S. sanctions Iran shadow banking network as peace talks stall. James Comey indicted over alleged Instagram friend against Trump. Out of American Catholic Eastwood sees slim path in a zoo's future as the Someone says recurring revenue key to keep its car park zoo open. Boston has its own archaeological achievements given to volunteer sponsors like scored Beyonce tickets. Taunton's Deep Pond Farm opened a new outdoor pavilion. First part that has student wins on a regional contest. He's headed to the States. Take a look at stocks. The Dow down 25.86 and 49 141.93. S&P 535.11 at 71.38.80 and Nasdaq down 233.30 at 24.663.79. Sports time. Yesterday, the Northlanders softball team crushed the Millis Mohawks in 5 innings, 14-2. And the Boston Bruins keep their season alive on the day for Patrick goal last night with a 2-1 win over the Buffalo Sabres. Game 6 will be Friday in Boston. And dominant minus 76ers as the 76ers beyond Joel Embiid's 33-point shut down the Boston Celtics in the fourth quarter, 139 the series ships back to Philadelphia for Game 6 on Thursday night with a 113-97 win over the Celtics. And the New York Knicks stopped the Atlanta Hawks 126-97. Knicks lead series 3-2, and the Senators Spurs beat the Portland Trailblazers 114-85. Spurs lead the winter series 4-1. And Minnesota Wild 4, Dallas Stars 2. And Edmonton Oilers 4, Anaheim Ducks 1. Major League Baseball action. Red Sox got blanked by the Toronto Blue Jays 3-0. Today's Sox and Jays go at it. In other Major League Baseball action, Tampa Bay Rays 1, Cleveland Guardians nothing, Baltimore Orioles 5, Houston Astros 3, Cincinnati Reds 7, Chicago Rockies 2, Philadelphia Phillies 7, it's the St. Giants nothing, it's St. Louis Cardinals 11, Pittsburgh Pirates 7, Mets 8, Washington Nationals nothing, it's Atlanta Braves 5, Detroit Tigers 2, it's the White Sox 5, LA Angels 2, Milwaukee Brewers 13, it's the Reds 2, Seattle Mariners 7, Minnesota Wild Twins 1, it's the Yankees 3, Texas Rangers 2, Cubs 8, San Diego Padres 3, Kansas City Royals 4, Athletics 1, and 10 days with the Miami Marlins 2, and the Dodgers 1. Spreads lead on Colts and Fox wins first series is 17. Brett says phenomenal performance lift next. LeBron and him, Michael Jordan debate are games are different. And Brown defense Brothers now starts a game 5 victory. And today got Norton Mills baseball at 4:15 p.m. Peter Chill News time, 8 a.m. Time out for travel watch. Beep beep. MBT Fall Wheel Line Trade 1905 645 FM. Substations operate 15 minutes back between Holbrook, Randolph, and Fall River. And on the Greenwich Line Trade 1058 680 FM. Greenwich is operate 15 minutes back between Red Tree and Substation. Haveline Drain 209 555 FM. North stations operate 15 to 12 minutes back between Belter and Naval to the a temporary speed restriction affected crosses at the end of the area. Haveline Trade 212 612 AM from Able is operating 50 minutes past between end of the station due to temporary speed restrictions that affected crosses at the end of the area. And Haveline Trade 218 725 AM from Able is operating to the park. Havel 50 minutes past due to temporary speed restrictions that affected crosses at the end of the area. $95 stop outside. Expect between protect out of minutes. 146 stop outside. Between Route 15 and 95 and downtown Providence. 99 north outside slope to Route 10 and Crescent out of Route 185 in Providence. 185 westbound back between Seacock and Washington Bridge. 185 eastbound slope to 295 Washington Bridge. And 295 is back between Route 6 and Johnson and Route 37 Walk. 295 northbound side of Old Zone before Route 7 in Smithfield. And 295 northbound side is back to Route 95 and outer area stretch. 95 northbound side is back between Adam and Route 128 Canton Stretch, 140 inspected between Tottenham and Route 128 Canton Stretch, and Route 3 on the northbound side inspected between Duxbury and the Marshfield and Hipperskin between Weymouth and the Bridge Split. Route 3 stopping also between Sagamore and the Bridge. Route 25 eastbound also between the before Route 6 and Board all the way down to Board Bridge. Route 60 eastbound also stopped at the stretch. 128 southbound also between 24 Red Dot and the Bridge Split and 128 back there between the Breakthrough Split all the way down to Route 109 Westwood and Hipperskin to Route mostly down to Route 20 with Waltham. Pike eastbound also between Fairfield and down to the Pruitt Tunnel. Pike westbound also between Lower down to South Boston. 495 is back between Hamilton and Route 9 and Supper. And Summer Expressway is back between the Breakthrough Split down to Dorchester. Summer Expressway back to the Dorchester Stretch. 93 Sapper back between Methuen and Boston. Summertel Slow Count also look good. Route 1's back between River and Charlestown. Pike westbound also between Lower down to South Boston. 1 trade at the northbound side between PB and Denver. 1 trade stopping us all between Litchfield and down to Burlington. And Hipperskin between Bedford all the way down to Weston. And Route 3 stopping up back between 485 and Lowell all the way down to Burke and Hipperskin and Burlington Stretch. And 485 stopping up back between Andover down to Tewksbury. 485 northbound up between Chelsea all the way down to Tewksbury. And 495 northbound side is back between Hudson Stretch. Eastbound is back between 146 and Red and Worcester. And northbound side is back between Springfield and 91 stopping up also at Route 5 in Springfield. And Route 1 91 is back between Windsor and Harvard, Connecticut. 84 eastbound is back between Newton and Harvard, Connecticut. And 84 westbound also between Waterbury Stretch and all the way down to Sudbury. Murray Parkway is back between Trumbull and Greenwich. 95 stopping up between Bridgeport all the way down to Greenwich. And up and over to England, it's looking good. Peter Childers time, 8:04. Time now for weather on this Thursday morning and this Wednesday morning. It's an overcast start the morning and it's 47 degrees with humidity 86%. And increase of confidence today with a beneficial rainfall. Moving into tonight and Thursday and settle the cool this weekend and early next week. Increase of confidence today with a beneficial rainfall. Moving into tonight and Thursday. It should be a mostly dry start of the day outside. Coastal areas of Massachusetts where there is a little pressure fog with will likely be ongoing. Otherwise, particularly activity by the late morning and early afternoon. There's a rain and scattered showers that increase in coverage later this afternoon. Initially, there will be 2 areas of precipitation showers associated with the inverted showing to the coast. And the more widespread shield of rain associated with income low pressure. The bulk of the rain falls overnight into the Thursday morning with a percentage of upper trough from Ohio Valley with secondary surface low that tracks from Mid-Atlantic to Cape Cod. Still looks like a fairly quickly hidden event with the bulk of the rain wrapping up at the west east spot in the morning and the little areas of the showers and the drizzle across the Cape and islands coming in and around that could also see a few ripples of thunder embedded within the heavy elements this morning. Overall, this will be a quick and a wet system with bigger dynamics and off. Rainfall totals should be more beneficial within the most areas picking up 0.25 with wind inches of the rainfall, perhaps a little more in northern Massachusetts. After times are fairly low, so coastal flooding is not much of a concern. Like eastern Massachusetts coast, a persistent on the shore may bring a surge of up to 1 foot in the week, but by then winds turn offshore as a surface low lifts poverty up the north. And so cooler this weekend and early next week as amplified pattern later this week. And over the weekend, in the building of wedge of high pressure over the central Canada drops a lot below the low over the 7 Ontario, 7 New England. Should be a fair enough room from coldest air aloft to keep up mostly right, especially given west-northwest flow. But pattern certainty favors the real clouds and perhaps a few afternoon sprinkles Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It does look like up a low may lift farther north early next week, allowed for more of a zonal flow across the northern interior states, which will lead to the dry of the weather. Monday and Tuesday, however, models of northwest for breaking down these blocking patterns too quickly, such as they might take a little longer to see improving conditions. For now, the forecast reflects model blend to iron out the uncertainty. Forecast goes like this: Park the Saskatchewan 64 degrees and northeast at about 6 miles after the night. Showers likely be after 3 a.m. Clouds count about 45 degrees, east at about 5 miles coming DVD. Just make 6 out of new perspective between less than 7 inches possible for Thursday. Showers made before 5 p.m. At 7 degrees, the low 41. Like the November wind coming westbound 6 miles out of the afternoon. Chest pages 90% of new perspective between the quarter and 9 inches possible. Friday, most of the sites got 50 down low 36 degrees. West of about 8 to 10 miles an hour highs. 21 miles an hour for Saturday. Most of the sites got about 37 low 37 degrees and west wind at about 5 to 8 miles an hour for Sunday. Sites got about 50 low 38 degrees. West at about 5 to 10 miles an hour for Monday. Most of the sites got about 62 low 42 degrees and southwest about 5 to 11 mile an hour highs, 22 mile an hour for Tuesday. Check the shots. Park the sites got 6 degrees and southwest about 6 to 11 mile an hour highs, 22 mile an hour chest pages, 30%. Right now, it's 47 degrees overcast skies, and that's the way it was Wednesday morning, April 29th, 2026. This is a Million Water Report. I'm Peter G. We'll see you. Have a good morning. Stay safe. Be well. Have a good day, and a good morning.